Alright, what's up everybody, it's Sam from Bet. In this video I'll be doing my prelims predictions for UFC 267, Blachowicz vs Teixeira, plus the lock of the night in top 2 parlay discussions as part of the USD $10 tier. If you're seeing this from Patreon, thank you very much for your support, I appreciate that, and that's because of you guys who keep this channel running. And if you're seeing this from YouTube, in general I release this right after or right before the event, depending on my availability on the same. Alright, so I'll divide these videos as follows. First I'll talk about the lock of the night in top 2 parlay discussion. I think that's the greater interest for most of people. Then I'll just go run through all the picks and the bets. Then I'm gonna be breaking down the prelims. Alright, the breakdowns for the main card, it's already public and it's online, so it's also in the description of this video, so feel free to take a look. Alright, so for this card, guys, actually it seems to me an excellent card to bet. Let's see how this goes, and I like to discuss at least two options, and these are the way I'm doing things. In case you have any doubts, feel free to read the disclaimer here. So let's put it as option one, the most the safest in brackets there. I was telling you guys that Chimaev is my strongest pick. This guy, I'm believing the hype here, even though he's relatively unproven. I think this guy is for real. I spoke about that in my breakdown, so this is my strongest pick. Then Ankalaev the second. The reason is Ankalaev is also very technical and very big and very strong, so I expect that he's gonna dominate this fight as well. Not as confident as Chimaev, but nonetheless very strong pick as well. Then a parlay is between the two to try to bump up the profits a little bit. So in this scenario, if both of them cash, you would have nearly 30 units profit if you're betting 100, right? So you would have nearly 30, which is not that big, right? I like to discuss different options. Since I'm an experienced bettor, in general, I don't mind losing, because I know that eventually the things work out. This is a winning strategy in the long term. So I put up here the option number 2, even though for myself I'm doing even more options, I'm throwing even more people, I'm betting even more here. I'm diversifying even more. So I put like for this 100 here, 25 on Chimaev, then Chimaev and Ankalaev, parlaying them, right? Then I put a bet on Tuhugov. It's a little bit of risking a little bit more than necessary here a little bit, because Tuhugov, he's a favorite, but the lines show that, so still just to diversify. Actually you could parlay Tuhugov and go a little bit lower here into Tuhugov. Then I have Yaozong at the plus 180. I think he's a live dog. I'm gonna comment that into the breakdowns. Then Alan Nascimento, I think people are overlooking this guy. I'm going to be commenting that on the breakdown as well. Sandhagen, I talked about already on the main card breakdowns. I think he's a live dog. And then Hooker, the same. Alright, so if you want to hear why I'm betting Sandhagen, Hooker, who else here? Chimaev and Ankalaev, feel free to take a look on the breakdowns, alright? And then I'm going to be breaking down here the prelims to you guys, as I said, alright? So let me just run real quick through the entire card who I'm betting, and just touching a little bit on the props that I'll be taking. And by the way, if you're interested to see all the bets that I'm taking, including the props, this is part of the $50 tier, alright? And you guys would have line by line all the bets that I am taking, okay, combining multiple events and whatnot, alright? The idea here is that the breakdowns I'm giving free, and if you want to know exactly what I'm doing, just jump into the ultimate package on the Patreon, right? So between Makhachev and Hooker, I told you guys that I'm betting Hooker. I'm also interested in the fight go the distance prop, Makhachev by decision or Hooker by decision, depends on the lines. This is my calculation for these, Blachowicz and Teixeira. I'm interested in fight go the distance, depending on the price. Has to be at the right price, it's quite tricky actually, this one. I think it goes the distance, but it's quite tricky here, so probably I'll just pass and not taking. Basically, I think I'll just take Teixeira by decision as an underdog. I think this is the way to go in this fight. I talked about this in the breakdown, so let me just take this out so it makes more clear that it's Teixeira by decision as an underdog. Probably my only bet here. Volkov versus Tibura. I'm picking Volkov and betting Tibura. I also like the decision prop on this one. These are my calculations. Benoit, Denis, and Elizeu Zaleski. The odds hasn't been released yet. I think this goes to decision because they're both very tough, especially Zaleski. I'm gonna be breaking this down to you guys soon. Zubair Tuhugov, Ricardo Ramos. I also think this goes the distance, but has to be at the right price. Like I told you guys, I'm also betting Tuhugov a little bit. Piotr Jan and Sanhagen. Broke that down already. I'm picking Jan but betting Sanhagen, especially Sanhagen by decision. Excellent value there in my opinion. Tagir Lambekov versus Alan Nascimento. I think the only bet I'll be taking here is a Nascimento by decision. Also, I'm going to be betting Nascimento a little bit straight, you know. I think he can surprise many people here. Andre Petroski versus Yaozong. I'm picking and betting Yaozong. This is a chaotic fight. Expect Yaozong to be a live dog here. So I'm throwing one unit on him. Makwan Americani and this is wrong. It's I have this here. This is yeah. So this is Leron Murphy and the Makwan Americani. I don't know why it came that way. Makwan Americani, but I think the calculation seems to be right to me. Yeah. So yeah, I have maybe the bet to take here is Americani by decision. You know. It's not impossible that he wins, but probably I'm going to be passing here. Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker. Like I told you guys, I'm betting Hooker. I'm also betting Hooker a little bit by decision. Duraev versus Roman Kopylov. This was a very interesting one. You know, I'm probably going to be passing here, or maybe Kopylov by decision. You know, maybe the best bet here, but this is quite interesting. Even Kopylov is a dog. I'll break this down, guys. Let me know your thoughts as well. Amanda Ribas versus Verna Jandiroba. Difficult fight to pick. You know, I ended up picking Ribas. Probably gonna be only betting Jandiroba by decision as the underdog. Shamil Gamzatov versus Michal Oleksiejczuk. I'm picking betting Oleksiejczuk. Also not a bad bet in my opinion. Also I like Oleksiejczuk by decision. Yeah, then Mankobeg and Ankalaev and Volkan Uzdemir I'm betting Ankalaev, just parlaying. Hanzat Chimaev and Jiliang, my safest pick, Chimaev, and I'm betting Chimaev, right? So this will do for all the wrap up of all the picks and the bets. So let me break this down to you guys on the prelims. There's also missing one fight, guys. I decided to upload this video because I'm not sure how I'm gonna be able to do it over the week, so at least you guys have 90% of this covered, right? Between Leron Murphy and Makwan Americani. Murphy's on a tear, guys. This guy is for real. He's like a tall, athletic, fast, and a great striker. Not a great striker, a very good striker. He's fighting Makwan Americani, who's as big and as long and quite athletic as well, you know. Makwan, he tends to, you know, fight in single shots, you know, in single overhands, in power hooks, especially in flying knees. Then he shoots. He also has a good timing on his double leg, his single leg, strong body lock, brings guys to the ground and dominates from top. He's an excellent grappler. He's dangerous because he's big and he's you know, athletic and he's very long. So and he's super technical on the ground. So Makwan American is definitely the grappler here, but Murphy. He's an excellent takedown defense. He's tough to hold down. This guy makes very little mistakes on the feet, on the ground especially. He respects the submissions there. You know, he escapes, he explodes. So this guy is complete. He's legit. I think he's the rightful favorite in this matchup. I have him like a -200 favorite, and which seemed to me that Makwan is a little bit undervalued here, but I understand why Leron is so, you know, he has the hype and he's so talented. So I think I'm gonna just pass you on this one. Like I told you guys, I may bet Americani by decision if I can get him like +500, because it's not impossible that he takes Murphy down and somehow holds him, or avoid the biggest shots and make those like fairly grappling match where it's difficult to tell if Murphy is winning based on, you know, doing a little bit more damage, or Makwan are winning the scrambles, you know. So I could see Makwan been able to win a decision, but it's a little bit of a long shot. I would take if I get a good price at it. All right. Otherwise, I'm gonna pass on this one, even though Murphy is a good pick here. Andre Petroski versus Yaozong. Told you guys in the other in the slide in the presentation there. I think this is gonna be a chaotic fight. Petroski is a compact and strong guy, basically a wrestler and a grappler. Basically doesn't have any striking. He's quite short limbs, doesn't quite strike well, lots of mistakes, opens up himself, doesn't carry that much power on the feet. Yaozong used to fight as a heavyweight. He's dropping, then he dropped to light heavyweight. Now he's a middleweight. I think this guy gonna come ready. I think he's trying to revamp his career. He has a long layoff. He's been training in the US, so I think he's gonna surprise us here. I expect that he stuffs most of the takedowns or at least gets back up. Even though Yaozong from his back, he basically doesn't have anything. So if Petroski mounts him or something, I think it's gonna be pretty much it. Unless Yaozong gonna explode, which there's also a chance. But I think most likely Yaozong gonna use his wrestling defensively, avoid the grappling and basically dominate on the feet. Even though he's not that excellent, he's just basically a brawler, but he's better than Petroski, that's for sure. So to me, it's like basically a pick'em, very chaotic. I have a very wide range on this one. So pick'em could being Petroski strong favorite, a strong dog, same for Yaozong. So given the chaotic nature and given the current odds, I'm definitely betting Yaozong here, 1 unit on him. I'm picking him by round 2 TKO. I think him by TKO is a good bet. And also by decision is not impossible, but I think he wins by knockout here. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Alan Nascimento. Ulanbekov is in the Dagestani crew, has all the assets there. Actually, he's a little bit better striker than most of the, at least given his experience, but he's not an elite striker or anything. He makes some mistakes, but his forte is the clinch, is the grappling, is the top position, is the control. Even though he's a quite tall flyweight, so he can use his reach to his advantage. He doesn't do a bad job there, but he could do better. I can say quite similar things about Nascimento, but the difference here, Ulanbekov is calm, cool, collected, wait for his time, tries to do things correctly, whereas Nascimento is much more, hectic in his movements. He tries to get inside and swing. He keeps pushing the pace, then he tries to take it. Sometimes he tries to take it to the ground. Sometimes he kind of goes for the brawls. So Alan Nascimento doesn't have much of a structure to his game, That's why I think Ulanbekov is so strong in the bookies. Give me a second, guys. Let me just fix this one. I'm back here, so that's why I think he's very strong favorite on the bookies, because he has way more structure in his game. But Alan Nascimento, this guy has been around for quite a while. He has a split decision against Rolian Paiva, which is, unfortunately, I couldn't find the footage on that one. I was very interested. But Alan Nascimento, this guy is a warrior. You can definitely bet into that. He's gonna bring it. His style, again, not much structure. He can start entering brawls and getting caught and getting finished, But if Tagir cannot finish Alan, gonna be interesting, guys, because like I told you guys, Tagir is not the perfect fighter. Alan Nascimento has skills everywhere, on the feet, and he's a good grappler as well, not bad wrestler. Tagir is a little bit better everywhere. He doesn't have as much experience, so apples and oranges there. I still think Tagir is the rightful favorite here. I have him at 60%, but that to me makes sense to bet Nascimento here as a plus 300 dog. I'm gonna be throwing him in some parlays with some good favorites. Plus, I'm gonna be betting him by decision. I think the value is there. All right, even though Tagir is my pick here. All right. Albert Duraev versus Roman Kopylov. This is an interesting one. Duraev more seasoned, a little bit better, more rounded, but also a little bit shorter here. He's like a compact, muscular guy, but the experienced fighter. He has a good cardio. He pushes the pace. He's a good wrestler. When he takes top position, this guy is nightmare. When he goes for ground and pound, it's nasty. We'll see what he can do here. Probably he's gonna be able to implement against Kopylov. Kopylov, to me, this guy has so much talent. He's a good striker, he's an experienced striker, and he can control range pretty well. But I don't think he's yet has enough experience. I don't see him like a guy that goes out there and imposes his rhythm and doesn't care much about the opponent in a good sense. Like tries to improve to implement his game and use his strengths to his advantage. I think he still second guesses himself a little bit. He gets worried about what his opponent gonna do. If he does that against Duraev, gonna be one-sided match because Albert Duraev, he's confident and he's gonna bring it. That's for sure. So the safest pick here is definitely Duraev, even though the lines show that. I'm gonna be passing on this one because if Kopylov comes in ready, this guy is fairly young. He's 30, so it's his physical prime, and he's also very talented. He hits hard. He's a little bit taller, much longer here. So I would be careful with this if you're betting Duraev, but I'm also picking him. Duraev by decision may not be a bad idea because Kopylov is tough, and Duraev, unless he can mount Kopylov, I don't see much of a finish here. No. But Kopylov dangerous with the kicks on the outside, sharp striking, so and the better striker here. So be careful here, because Kopylov keeping it standing, he could win this fight, right? Even though I don't think he's gonna be able to keep it standing. Okay. Amanda Ribas versus Vernon Jandiroba. I think it's the last one. No, we have one more. So this is also an excellent fight, guys. Ribas, she's an excellent fighter, guys. I know she got knocked out her last bout, but rather than the chin and the size, she's not undersized, but she's not as big as Verna, for example. Man, she's so sharp. She moves the head well. She puts the pressure on. She has good leg kicks. She hits hard, like I said. You know, and then after throwing combination, she gets to girls' legs. She pushes the pace. She's good in the clinch with the knees, with the elbows. She shoots inside, goes for passes. She's also not easy to take down. She's tough to hit. So this girl's complete. Of course, she's not perfect, but I mean, she's the real deal. I can say the same thing about Verna Jandiroba. She's a little bit taller and longer, more physical than Ribas. She's an elite grappler, as Ribas is. Most of these girls, they grapple so well. Whoever takes the top position has advantage here, even though they probably not gonna be able to control the other. Verna, even though she has the size and the reach, her striking is catching up. She's not bad at this point, but she's not at Ribas level. She can strike, but she cannot you do have a game plan around her striking, like pushing opponents back and keep in their faces and keep touching until she sets something big. Ribas can do that, Verna cannot. But this is a tricky one, guys, because Riba's gonna push the pace. Verna has advantage. She's gonna wait, which is the best thing that she can do here until Ribas opens up and makes a mistake. She can catch her with some bigger strike and then try to make it a grappling match. From the top she could have the advantage, so it's very tough to pick on this one. I'm picking Ribas just because she's a better striker, and to bet here it's quite tricky. I feel like it's a dog or pass, but I'm gonna end up just passing this one. Maybe Verna by decision as an underdog, even though I think this line gonna be also expensive, so probably just gonna pass on this one. But I'm taking Ribas here in a very close fight. And on the last one, no, still we have Zubair. Just a giant card, and even more people coming up. All right, so Zubair to Hugo from Ricardo Ramos, another excellent fight. Sorry, let's go with Shamil, Gamzatov, and Michal Oleksiejczuk. This is also an interesting one. Shamil, he has the Russian name there but he's not like an elite fighter here. To me, he's a guy that sits back and waits quite a bit, for the opportunity to present. He hits quite hard. He's a quite big guy, but he's not like the guy that keeps, like Ankalaev, that is always catching an opportunity, always setting something up. He just waits, until the opportunity comes, and he strikes a little bit, and he gets out of the way. Then he doesn't quite impose his game plan, neither on the feet, neither on the ground. Michal Oleksiejczuk, quite opposite, super aggressive, moves inside all the time, keeps pushing the pace, and You know, gets into opponent's face, swings to the head and to the body, tries to avoid getting taken down, keeps pushing the pace. He also has a quite decent clinch game. So my pick here is Michal. I'm going by decision because Gamzatov, he's never been finished. Plus, he's a quite big guy for the division. Michal doesn't hit that hard. You know, even though he pushes the pace, he could finish Gamzatov because Gamzatov doesn't seem to have the best cardio. You know, so it's not impossible that Michal finishes him, especially like round 2 or round 3 by TKO. You know, it would make sense to bet Michal. But if you like Gamzatov, I would say also by decision. Even though Michal has some pushes the pace and opens up, exposing his chin and whatnot. I think he's also quite tough. And like I told you guys, Gamzatov, he hits fairly hard, but he's not consistent in just keep doing damage until he finishes his opponent. That's why I think this is most likely goes to the decision, even though it's quite tricky there. It's nearly a 50-50 by going to the decision, and either these guys finishing each other. Alright, so these are my comments and my calculations. Zubaira Tukhugov versus Ricardo Ramos. High level fight here. I think they have a matchup before, now they are meeting up on this card. Tukhugov, good everywhere, you know, this guy's so fast and explosive, likes to get inside, throw lots of hooks and shoot. He's been pacing himself lately, you know, because he started getting caught once he opened up, you know. But I don't think it's gonna be much of a concern here, even though Ramos is dangerous with the spinning stuff, you know, with the flying knees. It's pretty much it, you know, for Ramos in terms of doing, you know, big damage. He also has a decent power in the jab and in the straight shots, but it's not like outstanding. Tukhugov definitely can take those shots. Obviously, he doesn't want to take the flying knee and the spinning kicks. But rather than that, I think we're gonna see Tukhugov pushing the pace a little bit more, taking the top position. Ramos is dangerous everywhere, you know, but he's way better from top. From the bottom, he's probably gonna try to create scrambles, use his submissions to get back up. I think Tukhugov not gonna get caught, and then he's gonna keep shooting. I think Tukhugov, being, you know, more natural featherweight, even though Ramos is taller and longer, I think Tukhugov is a little bit stronger, and he has more chance to take this to the ground. He's definitely the better wrestler. So we'll see what happens here. Ramos is talented, so that's what I told you guys. It's quite tricky to bet Tukhugov here because the line shows to me exactly the real odds, you know, so it's always tricky to bet in these conditions because you're always gonna lose to the bookies, you know. But I feel that Tukhugov gonna be able to impose his game here, and we'll see him winning a comfortable decision. All right, Elizeu Zaleski versus Benoit Sandenis. This is also a good one. Benoit, good one because it's gonna be interesting to see Benoit, primarily a grappler. Actually, it's interesting because I couldn't find that much footage on him. He likes to get inside and throw powerful shots, then take it to the ground. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna try to do against Zaleski. Zaleski, good takedown defense, better striker, more technical, but not the most physically imposing guy, you know. And another guy there that fares better when he's landing flying knees and spinning stuff, even though he times it pretty well. You know, it's incredible how he can find flying knees, you know. And also, he's a good grappler. He's super tough to submit. I think we're gonna see Zaleski maybe get taken down in the first round. He's been able to survive. The question is, can Sandenis keep up the pace and keep controlling Zaleski? Maybe he can, but given the experience and given that he's also having his debut, I think Zaleski is the safest pick here, guys. I'm going with Zaleski by decision on this one, alright? I'm also interested in betting Zaleski by decision. And I think that's it for this card, guys. It was a pretty big one, pretty long video because there are so many fights to cover, but I hope that you guys enjoyed. And again, if you're seeing this on Patreon, thank you very much for your support. Considering jumping into the greatest tier here, as you guys would have line by line all the bets that I'm taking, plus access to the spreadsheet and all the material. So I hope you guys appreciate this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll talk to you next time. Sam from Rotterdam Bet, bring the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.